Washington, Amy McGrath, a former Marine fighter pilot who built a formidable campaign war chest, emerged Tuesday as the Democratic nominee to take on Senator Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, fending off a challenge from the left that highlighted the party's ideological divisions. 1 week after the primary was conducted, the Associated Press declared Ms. McGrath the winner after a campaign that was shaped by the coronavirus pandemic and protests against racial injustice. She narrowly defeated Charles Booker, an African-American state lawmaker who harnessed anger over a pair of fatal shootings by the authorities in Louisville to roar into contention in the final weeks of the campaign. Ms. McGrath, though, had raised over $40 million by the start of June and built up a sizable advantage even before primary day because many voters cast absentee ballots to avoid the polls and the risk of contracting the coronavirus. She was helped by the presence of other Democrats on the ballot, including another progressive who garnered about 5% of the vote. But Mr. Booker's late surge in what had been a relatively tranquil nominating contest was another illustration of progressive momentum in the Democratic Party, as outrage over racial injustice amplifies the calls for transformative change. An unabashed progressive, Mr. Booker ran on Medicare for all and the Green New Deal. It was not clear until Tuesday that Ms. McGrath had won because a number of Kentucky counties waited to ensure they had counted their many mailed-in ballots before releasing results. In a statement after the AP called the race, Ms. McGrath said that Mr. Booker had tapped into and amplified the energy and anger of so many who are fed up with the status quo, and urged her party to come together to win in November. The difference is that separate Democrats are nothing compared to the chasm that exists between us and the politics and actions of Mitch McConnell, she said. She will face an uphill contest against Mr. McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, in a state that President Trump carried by about 30 points 4 years ago. Mr. Booker, too, would have found a race against Mr. McConnell difficult. In choosing Ms. McGrath, however, Kentucky Democrats are hewing to a careful course, putting forth a well-funded political moderate with military credentials in a red state. Mr. Booker, who ran as an outspoken progressive, argued that such an approach had been tried before and was doomed for failure. Winning the support of local newspapers and out-of-state liberal leaders like Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, Mr. Booker tapped into fury over the killings of Breonna Taylor and David McAtee to jolt what had been a quiet race conducted mostly under the radar until the last month. Ms. Taylor was shot 8 times after Louisville police officers entered her apartment with a battering ram. Mr.